What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Big Al Banter Media, here with the Jets video for you guys. Today, week 1 versus the Panthers. Oh, I am so excited. I've been waiting for this for so long. Obviously going up against former Jets quarterback Sam Darnold and Panthers, of course. Going to go over a few things, some predictions, some key matchups to look up. Let's start with the inactives, though. So, Josh Adams, Michael Pirine, Quincy Williams, Jason Pinnock, Jonathan Marshall, and Keelan Cole are the inactives. So, running back room is going to be Ty Johnson, Michael Carter, and Tevin Coleman. I expect Ty Johnson to get most of the carries there. It's interesting too with Keelan Cole. I think it was an injury. He's not a healthy scratch. It was, he had some sort of knee injury or something. Look for Mims to hopefully, emerge here. Keelan Cole was above him on the depth chart for most of training camp and whatnot. With him out, this would be a perfect time for Mims to kind of silence all the haters and really prove him wrong. Jason Pinnock being inactive is a bit interesting because they mentioned some cornerback by committee approach they were talking about, which I'm not crazy about. So it looks like that really won't happen as much. I'll go over who I think the corners will be and whatnot in a second. And, Quincy Williams, depth linebacker, we picked him up from Jaguars. Jonathan Marshall, I liked a little bit what I saw from him in the preseason, but he's still pretty much a developmental guy. So those are the inactives. I'm going to give you 4 key matchups that are really interested at looking at. So our interior defensive line versus the Panthers offensive line. So I expect Quinn Williams and Sheldon Rankins to have an absolute field day. The Panthers' entire offensive line outside of Taylor Moton, the right tackle, is horrendous. They have Pat Elflein, we claimed on waivers last year, who was a Jet, really bad. Their center, Matt Paradis, I'm pretty sure isn't very good anymore. Their left tackle, I think Cam Irving is like a former bust as a center for the Browns, and now he's starting left tackle. I expect these guys to have an absolute day. It's such a shame that Carl Lawson's not here. He's out for the year with that ruptured Achilles. Because if we had him, Sam Darnold was going to be seeing ghosts, no doubt about it. But Elflein, Paradis, and I think it's their backup right guard, who their starting right guard isn't even a good player. Sheldon Rankins, there's a clip out of him just absolutely owning Elflein. Quinn Williams is obviously a stud. I expect a huge year out of him. That's going to be a really interesting matchup. Another interesting thing is our linebackers versus Christian McCaffrey. Most people are most worried about Christian McCaffrey running the ball. I'm actually more worried about him receiving. He's maybe the best pass-catching running back in the league. And these young linebackers, who 2 of them were converted safeties, I don't know how they're going to do it. It's going to be tough. You got C.J. Mosley, who I think is going to be playing outside, but he's going to be calling the defense or has the headset on or in the helmet. I don't know how to describe it. But it looks like Sherwood's going to be playing the mic and Nasruddin is going to be playing Will. So it's going to be interesting how these young guys... Now, with our coaching staff, if there's any position I expect them to coach the guys up, it's linebacker. Salah and... name is escaping me right now for our defensive coordinator. Have a lot of experience coaching linebackers and stuff and have coached a lot of great linebackers in the past. So that's a key matchup to look at. A really interesting matchup. Jeff Ulbrich, there it is. That came to me, is Mekhi Becton versus Brian Burns. I think Brian Burns is an emerging edge rusher in this league. And his game is predominantly as a speed rusher. And that's kind of the one area Mekhi Becton has struggled a bit with, is these speed rushers. He didn't have the greatest training camp, wasn't able to participate in OTAs. I'm not worried about him. I think he's going to be fine. He might have a couple rough reps this game, but I'm interested to see how well, Mekhi Becton can keep him contained, just because he is, a speed rusher, and that's kind of what Mekhi Becton has struggled with a little bit. Of course, he always has room to improve. He had a phenomenal rookie year. Really looking forward to see how he does in the sophomore year. And then our corners versus their receivers. I expect Brandon Eccles to start on the outside versus Robbie Anderson predominantly, and Bryce Hall versus DJ Moore. I said Eccles for Robbie Anderson because Robbie Anderson is a speed demon, deep threat, and Eccles is really fast as well. So you need a guy to keep up with them. We're not, playing man defense. We're playing we're in a zone system, but you need a guy to keep up with them. You don't want them to beat you over the top. Now, fortunately, Sam Darnold isn't the greatest deep ball thrower, but I expect I think Robbie Anderson will get a touchdown today just for the inexperience at corners. And then Bryce Hall versus DJ Moore, just the other side. He's their number 1 receiver. Bryce Hall's our number 1 corner. I expect Guidry to be in the slot. Also, Michael Carter II might get in there as well. And then on a couple other notes from game plan wise. I would make sure run away from Derek Brown. Was a top 10 pick last year. Really good run defender, and can take that second step. We saw how Quinn Williams struggled a lot his first year and then became an absolute monster his second year. I expect a similar result from Derek Brown, especially in run defense. So run it away from him, because just don't run it up the middle. Now, fortunately, Adam Gase isn't our coach because he would do that all the time. And target their young corners. J.C. Horn, he was a top 10 pick, but he is a rookie. A.J. Bouye is not that good of a player anymore. Make sure to get the ball down the field because, that's how you're going to win. Obviously, I expect the run game to be pretty productive, and I'm pretty optimistic for this game. So, my final score prediction, Jets 24, Panthers 14. I am taking the W for the Jets on this game. I'm really looking forward to it. At the end of the day, I think Sam Darnold's going to have a rough game because that's how bad the Panthers' offensive line is. I can't stress it enough how bad it is. Cam Irving, left center bust for the Browns. Left tackle / center, absolute bust with the Browns. Pat Elflein, bust with the Vikings. Matt Paradis, kind of a flop of free agent signing. No clue who's at right guard. And then Taylor Moton, stud right tackle. Whoever's going up against him, don't expect them to have a big day, whether it's JFN or Bryce Huff. I think Zach Wilson has 2 passing touchdowns, and there's also a rushing touchdown in there, and 1 field goal. I don't think he's going to have any picks. So I'm taking the Jets W. Am I being a bit of a homer? I don't think so. I actually think it's, some valid points. It's just with this Panthers O-line, it's going to be ugly. It's literally Jets 2019. Maybe not as bad because you have the stud right tackle offensive line, but their offensive line is really that bad. So I'm taking the W here for the Jets. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time for a post-game recap. I'll see you.